Don't make promises you can't keep, Mr. Parker.
Yeah, but those are the best kind.
Welcome to ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy. After the triumphant return of Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker in Spider-Man No Way Home, fans are demanding that we see him again, specifically in his own solo film, The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Now, the demand for more Andrew Garfield Spider-Man isn't really a surprise because he stole the show in Spider-Man No Way Home. Hell, I mean, one could even argue that he was the best part of the movie.
What?
Now, we have some thoughts and theories on what an Amazing Spider-Man 3 would look like now. But before we get into those, we thought it'd be more important to cover the Amazing Spider-Man 3 that almost was, as well as the downfall of that whole franchise. Now, remember that big Sony email hack in 2014?
Major part of this.
Yeah.
Well, leaked emails revealed that The Amazing Spider-Man 3 was set to be officially announced at a Sony event with special guest, Spider-Man himself, Andrew Garfield. Now, it's alleged that Andrew opted not to come to the event citing illness. Then Sony president and CEO Kaz Hirai was very displeased by Andrew's absence.
You were my friend, and you betrayed me!
Now that situation, along with Kevin Feige's big plan to partner with Sony and bring a rebooted Spider-Man into the MCU, as well as The Amazing Spider-Man 2's poor reception at the box office and amongst fans, all resulted in the perfect storm that gave us...
Hey, everyone.
Good job.
Now, The Amazing Spider-Man duology is not the best Spidey franchise.
Don't you know? I'm Electro.
But each film had strong elements and a lot of potential. The franchise was doomed by Sony's obsession with setting up future films instead of focusing on the one that was right in front of them. Every great live-action Spider-Man movie has one thing in common: the never-ending struggles of Peter Parker. Yes, there's that. But throughout the film, we also see Peter haunted by Captain Stacy, representing his guilt for being with Gwen even after he promised that he would stay away.
Leave Gwen out of it.
But the film gets so caught up in its constant attempts at setting up sequels and spin-offs that it forgets what the movie should be about. Much like the DCEU, they rushed it. They saw the success of Marvel Studios' interconnected films, and they wanted a piece of that sweet, sweet money pie.
Maybe you can feed me that pie.
But they didn't have the patience to build their universe at a natural pace. Andrew Garfield himself told the Daily Beast in 2014, quote, "I think what happened was, throughout the pre-production, production, and post-production, when you have something that works as a whole, and then you start removing portions of it, because there was even more of it than there was in the final cut, and everything was related. Once you start removing things and saying, no, that doesn't work, then the thread is broken, and it's hard to go with the flow of the story." That's a perfect summary of what went wrong with The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Hey, how do you get these videos done so fast? Don't you ever sleep?
Yeah, Doug, I do sleep, but I'll tell you, a good night's sleep is vital to this job because when I wake up at 4 a.m. to write a video about a Disney Plus show, I have to keep a clear head. And that's why I'm glad I have a mattress from Helix Sleep. They're the sponsor of this video. Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to your needs and shipped straight to your door. So the way it works is you take their sleep quiz, which matches your sleep preferences and body type to create the perfect mattress for you. Everyone is different and has their own unique taste, and Helix Sleep has something for everyone. If you sleep with a partner, you can even take the sleep quiz together and find the right mattress for both of you. Helix matched me with the Midnight Lux, and it's terrific. See, I'm a side sleeper and I like a firm mattress, and this mattress gives me everything that I didn't even know was missing from my old mattress. It's so easy to buy online, and in the United States, the mattress is delivered for free straight to your front door. It also comes with a 100-night sleep trial period, so you can just try it out. And there's also a 10-year warranty. So click on the link below or go to helixsleep.com/ScreenCrush for up to $200 off your Helix Sleep mattress, plus 2 free pillows. So, back to Spider-Man. So one of the films that Sony was trying to build toward, and it looks like they still are, is the Sinister Six. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 shoehorned in the tragedy of Harry Osborn and his transformation into the Green Goblin, bypassing a lot of much-needed character development and overall story growth just to set up another villain for the next film. But Harry's Goblin wasn't even the worst of it. The movie crammed in Doc Ock's arms and vulture wings right at the ending, meaning that we would have seen a rushed introduction to these iconic Spidey villains with no meaningful origin story in this respected universe. The character we see walking in front of the mechanical arms, wings, and rhino stuff is Gustav Fiers, aka the Gentleman. This is a lesser-known Spidey villain who was first introduced in a trilogy of novels. Now, the first novel, The Gathering of the Sinister Six, was released in 1999 and was the first appearance of Gustav Fiers. The Gentleman was a wealthy individual who had a hatred for humanity and a lust for power. So basically, a Tory. His first film appearance was in the post-credits scene for The Amazing Spider-Man, where he confronts Dr. Connors in his prison cell.
Well, that's very good.
Then we see him again at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, coming to see Harry Osborn in his prison cell.
You've made progress.
I've identified several worthy candidates.
Now the two seem to know one another, likely because the Gentleman and Norman Osborn were working together to form what would eventually become the Sinister Six, but their motives here are unclear. Norman Osborn, Richard Parker, and Dr. Connors all worked together at Oscorp. We even learn in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 that Richard Parker created the spider that bites Peter and gives him powers.
The human DNA that I implanted in the spiders was my own.
This was also teased in the first film. So the Gentleman knows both Dr. Connors and Richard Parker.
Did you tell the boy the truth about his father?
He also seems to know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. We think that Norman Osborn knew this as well and was keeping his son, Harry, in the dark on a lot of what Oscorp was up to.
How could you possibly understand that your childhood had to be sacrificed for something greater?
Now, we did a video that speculated that Electro knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man because he was absorbing data, like he says in No Way Home. Oscorp likely had files regarding Peter Parker being Spider-Man deep in their servers that Harry didn't have time to get around to finding. So it seems like Sony's plan was to have the Gentleman form the Sinister Six, a team consisting of Harry Osborn's Green Goblin, Vulture, Doc Ock, Rhino, possibly Electro or Lizard, and then the severed head of Norman Osborn would likely have become the ultimate Green Goblin. Oh, did we forget to mention that part?
Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, Norman Osborn does die in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but in a deleted scene, his severed head is seen in some type of cryogenic freezer in stall number 3 of 6. The other stalls were housing the aforementioned Doc Ock arms, Vulture wings, Rhino suit. And in a trailer for the film, there was what looked to be a Venom symbiote. Now, in the deleted severed head scene, rumor has it that the Gentleman would walk into the chamber and say, "Wake up, old friend," and then we'd see Norman's eyes open.
I'm so confused.
These are confusing times.
You see, in The Amazing Spider-Man 1, Dr. Connors' research was seized and he's fired from Oscorp because he refused to send his work to human testing before it was ready.
Watch this. He's gonna say, "You've got 24 hours.
The clock is ticking, Dr. Connors.
I won't.
Norman Osborn isn't in that first film, but he is mentioned all the time. He's dying and Connors' serum could have potentially saved him. After being fired, Connors uses the serum on himself and becomes the Lizard.
Drive.
Okay.
Now, some people have theorized that we would have seen Norman use Connors' regenerative serum to grow himself a brand new body. Now that, mixed with whatever the hell the disease was that already made him look like a goblin before he died,
The greatest inheritance I can give you.
all of that would have resulted in him mutating and becoming the ultimate version of Green Goblin.
It's not after me.
Is that Green Goblin?
So, as messy as the Amazing Spider-Man franchise was, they were definitely laying some groundwork for what could have been a pretty balls-to-the-wall Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six film. Another series of scenes deleted from The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was the introduction of Shailene Woodley's MJ. They decided to cut her scenes from the film and save her for the third movie. So that makes us wonder if Peter 3 ever meets an MJ in his universe. I don't think so. In No Way Home, we don't hear any mention of him having met his world's MJ. Andrew implies that he's been alone for several years. Now, Sony and Marvel have decided to take a very different path with the new Spider-Man franchise. So, even if we do end up seeing an Amazing Spider-Man 3, it's very unlikely they would go back to their original plan. And that's probably for the best. So, what could the Amazing Spider-Man 3 look like today? Would it be solely a Sony project, or would Marvel Studios be involved? If we do get an Amazing Spider-Man 3, it's probably just going to be a Sony project with no involvement from Marvel Studios. And it will almost certainly involve a villain or villains that Sony plans to use in an upcoming Sinister Six film. See, we think that the Sinister Six will be Sony's answer to the Avengers. A a ragtag group of anti-heroes teaming up to save the day, and we actually have a video on that theory coming out soon. We think it's more likely we'll see Andrew Garfield show up in that film than in his own standalone movie. Maybe we could see his Spider-Man teach these characters how to be a hero and work as a team, now that he has some teamwork experience from No Way Home.
I love you guys.
So how could this work? What could we expect from The Amazing Spider-Man 3? Like I said, I think Sony is going to want to make this movie because it would allow them to be free of the MCU and just kind of do their own thing. No need to worry about crossovers being set up by another studio. So what's been happening in the Amazing-verse? Well, I think it's going to be revealed that Morbius actually takes place in the same universe as The Amazing Spider-Man. For one thing, you can tell from the trailer that Morbius is going to have just a darker tone to it that matches the Amazing movies. And remember this shot from the Morbius trailer? A Spider-Man mural with murderer spray painted across it. Now, at the time, I assumed this was referring to Tom Holland's Spider-Man killing Mysterio. But what if this is actually referencing Andrew Garfield? He says in No Way Home that after Gwen's death, he got dark. He stopped pulling his punches. So what if he eventually tracked down either Uncle Ben's killer or Harry Osborn and killed them for revenge? Or maybe he just lost control and murdered some street hood. We see this same darkness in him when he's originally hunting for Uncle Ben's killer.
You gonna kill me too?
Also, Michael Morbius is using genetic testing on animals to cure his disease, just like Norman Osborn was. He could have even picked up Kurt Connor's research. Also, remember the Horizon Labs skyscraper? So in the comics, Horizon Labs is a scientific think tank that eventually is bought out by Oscorp and morphs into the company Alchemax. So it could be that after the events of Amazing Spider-Man 2, Oscorp was disgraced, they had to reorganize themselves, and they became Horizon Labs. But Morbius also seems to take place in the same universe as the MCU's Vulture.
What's up, Doc?
Yeah, Dr. Mike, you and I should stay in touch.
And also Venom.
I am Venom.
So how is this possible? Well, it's simple. Michael Keaton could just be playing a variant of his MCU character. That is, a counterpart from another universe. And we learned from the post-credits scene of Let There Be Carnage that the symbiotes exist across the multiverse.
80 billion light years of hive knowledge across universes.
So if this is the case, then there could definitely be a separate Venom symbiont inside the Amazing-verse. And like we said, we've already seen a Venom symbiont in the trailer for Amazing Spider-Man 2. So maybe in the past 10 years, a lot has happened in Andrew's world. Adrian Toomes wore those vulture wings that we saw in the lab, and that Venom symbiont would have attached itself to Andrew at one point, causing him to lose control and kill a street hood. The public has turned on Spider-Man, seeing him as a murderer and a threat. So now, in The Amazing Spider-Man 3, Andrew would have a fresh perspective. Meeting his counterparts would have inspired him to go back to being that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Now maybe he wants to fight for his redemption. But standing in his way is a group of villains, the Sinister Six. But maybe, just maybe, the gentleman approaches Andrew to lead the team. With 6 superpowered vigilantes, they can make the city safer for everyone. Plus, Horizon Labs can charge the city for this service, like the privatized police force in RoboCop.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Maybe Peter even does a mission with the Sinister Six, but their methods remind him too much of his darkest times. So instead, he dedicates himself to stopping them and helping the New York cops take control of their city once again. And in this way, he would also be honoring the memory of Gwen's father, George Stacy. Well, who knows? We might even be getting the ultimate happy ending with him getting some multiversal help, but not from Tom Holland, from Emma Stone's Spider-Gwen. Because as we know, Marvel Studios is not going to abandon the multiverse anytime soon. And whenever we do get the next big multiversal crossover, be it Secret Wars, the Kang Dynasty, or whatever, I guarantee you they're going to want to bring back all the villains and heroes from this movie, along with all the X-Men, Logan, the New Mutants, Blade, Ghost Rider, Ben Affleck's Daredevil, maybe even your mom. But let me know what you'd like to see in The Amazing Spider-Man 3 down in the comments below, or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe and smash that bell. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.